What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pro Physique Code. Stephen Bogrand, Paul Ravella, Danny Kirschka. I guess today we're talking about fun.
Yeah,
I thought it was fun,
I had
I
a
did too.
freaking blast.
other than the sinus infection cold I had when I got home from Denver.
Oh, yeah. Oh, see, I didn't even get to do it. Look, I didn't even get to be the one to bring it up.
What, did everybody get that?
I gave it to you all.
Yeah, that was her gift to us.
You're welcome.
Wait, Danny came to the retreat sick?
Yeah, you didn't know? You couldn't tell?
I don't know. Everyone's been sick lately. My kids are sick. Everybody's sick. Every check-in, someone's sick right now. It's like, so part
Dad
of the
life.
course. Yeah, so this was I guess it's our first ever true, completely company retreat.
Yes. Because every other one we've done has been more of like a Pro Physique experience, or like the first couple we did. There were only a few of us, so it was mostly, client-based stuff.
Well, those were like the Christmas party. The first one I remember was at my house. We had everybody. There was like 6 coaches and like 20
I don't
people
even think
showed
there
up.
were that many. Was that when we did the human pyramid?
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
That
we had at
picture
least 5
popped
or
up.
6.
Yeah, that picture popped up on my phone yesterday as like a memory.
It's a good memory.
That was
I think
a
it was
fun
literally
night.
a contest to see who could stay up the latest.
Well, I'm pretty sure we
Paul
were
lost.
eating your frozen pizzas and baking them at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
At least,
yeah, a lot happened after I went to bed that night. So,
yeah.
Well, I think, from my perspective, it's a good sign that, as the company has changed and evolved over time, we've been forced to like change and evolve how we do things. The first company retreat we did, we combined it with a Pro Physique experience, right? It was like one day of coaches went in, and I think that would have been good, but it's just impossible when you have 30, people for the company, because you just get too kind of impersonal when you've got also perhaps 30 to 50 people attending with their clients, right? So this was fun because, when I told Misty what I wanted to do with this, I said, I really just want all the coaches to get to hang out, because I genuinely love spending time with everybody that is a part of the company. And it's so rare, right? Like some of the best trips are like when we go to Tulsa, and it's just like a couple coaches hanging out with Danny and Kyle, and, April drove in, and like Brian Whitaker came down. Like those are the things that I really love doing. So that's what I wanted this to be, was kind of like put a little framework around it, give us a couple things to do, but mostly just make it a chance for all of us to get to hang out. And I feel like the feedback and the vibe was 100% amazing.
Yeah. You definitely have to have some structure when there's that many people together.
Yeah, but you also can't have too much structure, right? You can't say, be here at this time, you have to do this. I think there was enough gaps where we were able to do our so let's talk about the structure of the weekend. So we all flew in Thursday night to Denver, and a lot of that worked out where we actually got to take the train, which I've never done before, from the Denver airport to downtown. That was fun.
There were a lot of prairie dogs to be seen on the train as well.
Yeah, so for anyone that's never been to Denver, the Denver airport is bullshit.
What? What's wrong with it?
It's nowhere near freaking Denver.
Oh, no, it's not.
It's like 40 minutes away. It's like literally like a whole nother, like I could get to Orlando at the time it takes to get from the Denver airport
Well, there's probably this thing called the mountains that gets in the way, and they want to make sure they have plenty of open space.
I mean, we didn't drive through or train through the mountains, though.
No, it's a plane. I think they just built it in an area where they could, they probably obviously have things to deal with. And I'm just being funny, but like it's just funny that it's called the Denver airport, but it's literally like an hour away. And I'm going to keep making it further. Next time I say it, it's an hour and a half. But so it's cool that
30 minutes. You started at 40.
Yeah, I never knew that there was a train. I kind of enjoyed that. I think I'm going to do that in the future going forward, because the train stopped in multiple locations in downtown. So like it would have been easy to like get off and walk to a hotel or whatever. So yeah.
Well, that's what we did. We took the train, got off, and walked to the hotel. You know?
Yeah, Denver's a fun city to walk in. It's felt like it was pretty clean, easy to get around. We dragged our suitcases, and then that hotel we stayed at, the Hyatt Centric, I liked it.
Oh, it was so nice.
It was. I'm not gonna lie, I kept forgetting what city we were in because I feel like at least I've been in so many cities with the two of you now, like, and we kept talking about old stories and stuff. I'm like, wait, where are we again? Like, I just look up and see tall buildings, and that's just what we do.
All right. Thank you, Dani, for being honest about your unawareness.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blame the sinus infection.
Maybe someday we'll go to Denver for a Grand Prix.
For Grand Prix. Did they have the roads for that? I don't know. Everything was one way. That always confuses me. If we'd been driving, I would have been just destroyed.
I think was Thursday. Yeah, Thursday we did the scavenger hunt, right?
You guys did the scavenger hunt Thursday.
Yeah, I don't know where your ass was.
Well, okay, so here's what happened. I initially started
what happened.
What happened?
Hotel sex.
No, that definitely didn't happen.
You know, when you live together with someone, it's very exciting. You know, new location.
Oh, for sure.
Anyways, I'm on like page 42. You guys are on page 5.
The straps. The beds had those like.
The first thing I noticed was the belt buckles.
That was also the first thing I noted. So
yeah.
No, but what happened with the scavenger hunt? See, how it had happened was, I created a team because I thought it was going to be like Dani's coaches versus Steven's coaches, and then but then what happened was Misty created a team with I think Nikki or someone else, and then they started going, and then they were halfway done, and I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And then you started another team. And I was like, I don't know what's happening here. So then I left my team, and then I couldn't find the email with the code to get back in. So then I was just like out for the rest of the time. I was like, Steven, you're done. I was like, why? I couldn't like figure it out. So I was like, whatever.
Well, my wife is the most competitive human being on the planet, which you wouldn't know unless you know her.
Oh, I know she is.
She started doing the scavenger hunt like when we got to Denver, like at the airport, which nobody else was even doing things, and she's taking pictures. And so
she created a group text with like 30 people in it and was like, all right, ready, set, go, scavenger hunt, it's on. And like it was just chaos.
Yeah. But it ended up working out fine because I kind of did the same thing. I sent out a text to a bunch of people and said, hey, join my team, here's the code, let's go. And then we got out and we did some day drinking in Denver and did some goofy stuff, found a dive bar. Yeah, we had a good time. We had to find John Elway. What were some of the fun ones?
Well, you guys had to find like a big ass rock, whichever team brought the biggest rock at the end.
So I thought that was actually clever. So this app, I forget what it was called.
Called Goose Chase.
Goose Chase. I thought it was pretty clever because basically the final challenge was come to the final judgment with a rock. The team with the biggest rock gets the points. So basically it came down to whoever brought the biggest rock wins because everybody else completed all the challenges. And Phil carried a 40-pound piece of like granite up the stairs of this 3-story restaurant and set it on the table.
How did you guys know it was 40 pounds? Did you weigh it?
No, but I mean, I've carried 40-pound dumbbells before. You know, like it was heavy.
A lot.
Yeah. And then Misty and Brett carried up this concoction, which I claim we would have won because it wasn't actually a rock. It was actually concrete. Like
it looked like a sewer cap.
But concrete is a type of rock.
Concrete is man-made.
Is it?
Yeah. It definitely has rocks in it, but concrete is man-made, Dane. So I don't know. But the funny thing is like we left those rocks in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember because I was sitting down and I had just ordered food and I was like, oh man, I'm so hungry. You know, because Thursday I was crazy tired. And then all of a sudden, and then all of a sudden here comes Phil and he just slams this giant ass rock right in front of me where I'm like expecting my food to come. I was like, okay, well maybe there's still a little bit of room left here for me to eat in my seat. And then here comes Brett and Misty and they slam this other giant ass rock and I was like, Oh, okay. And so I guess I'm gonna go move to this other spot now so I can go eat. I
Yeah,
was
of
just like
course.
so butthurt.
You ordered food when we had catered steak and chicken, and that food was good.
Yeah, but my buffalo chicken sandwich was excellent.
You're
Amazing.
so bougie.
Yeah,
Um,
contrarian
oh,
Steve. He can't do what everyone else is
I'm the
doing.
bougie one, Danny. No,
That's
no,
why.
no, no.
Yeah. Who's sitting in their fancy office with Halloween decorations?
Thank you. Someone finally commented on my Halloween decorations. None of my clients have said anything about how festive I am.
I like that there's like a little Danny and Kyle in the corner there too.
The Day of the Dead people? No.
Beware.
This is my
Very spooky,
Denver.
very spooky with your sequin pumpkin.
That is
It's
very
cute.
that is
I
spooky.
like it. It's cute. I like glitter.
You know, that's a good idea. I think I'm gonna do something in my bookcase for next week, see if people
You
notice.
totally should.
No.
I have like a scary man hanging out in like a little wall insert in the hallway right outside my office, and anytime
I feel like I should put the Rock over there in the corner because he used to be in behind my.
you definitely should. But like put like a scream mask on him.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The guy with the long face, yeah, put a scary mask on him.
All right, so let's get to so after our scavenger hunt, and so I like the scavenger hunt for a lot of reasons, but it kind of forced our groups to kind of be cohesive and like you know who was leading, and
Camaraderie.
find out who's competitive. And it turns out Brett and my wife were the very competitive people in that group, and then I think me and Kaylee were being the most competitive in our group. We were both like, can't let them beat us because she was going in and seeing what they had done. So yeah, it was fun. What did we do Thursday night?
Well, a lot of people drank. That was the dinner. That was the first night.
Yeah.
And then if you guys went and did something, I don't think we went and did anything else. I think there was just that drinking and then bed because we all knew we had to be up early Saturday for van rental and all the other stuff.
No.
Wait,
that would have been
that was
that
Friday.
Friday. We didn't have to be up early.
Skipped
That
the whole
was
day.
Yeah, you
Oh,
skipped
I
the
know.
day.
I
So
went to bed because I was like, I got client work to do in the morning, and I want to get
yeah,
it done.
Friday was a
before we have
work day,
activities.
and
No,
Everly,
Stephen wanted to go back and play with the handcuffs on the bed that were provided by the hotel.
I'm telling you, hotel sex, Stephen, look into it. It's after a few years of marriage, you're gonna find out it's it's one of the best things.
I know,
We're
Kyle
not
and I
even
leave for
married
Napa
yet.
on Saturday, and I'm so excited.
Well, we know what's gonna happen with Kyle. Couple glasses
This
of wine.
This is our first vacation with no kid since we had
that's
him.
a big one. It's a weird feeling. You're gonna feel like a guilty mom. You'll see.
Oh, for sure.
And speaking of guilty moms, literally the second we leave, Everly gets sick, and Misty actually flew home first thing Friday morning. She got the first flight out to fly home to our sick daughter.
It was bummed.
And it's a good thing she did because she needed to be home, but that kind of stinks because Misty doesn't get breaks, from the kids very often. So she was hooting and hollering Friday night. She was having fun.
Thursday.
But I'm just trying to. I will say this: the only thing I was disappointed with this hotel, the Hyatt Centric, was that everything was like the breakfast place opened late and it closed early. Like the restaurant, right? Like I never we had gift certificates for it, but I never actually was able to use them for breakfast because they didn't even open until 7:30. So we were always going to that restaurant Syrup across the street.
Oh, I found some other good ones too, though. Right before I left, Syrup was phenomenal though as well. But I'll talk about that later. But yeah, I think I used my gift certificates for my little coupons. They had these spam sliders, like these fried spam sliders that were just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I
used
did
them
in
for
fact
drinks because the only time I could use them was the middle of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I did have an afternoon
old
fashioned.
Yeah, they made good drinks. The bartenders were like mixologist types. It was very fancy, bougie. So Friday morning, we got up and we all went to Armburst Pro Gym, which is like the most well-known bodybuilding gym in Denver, owned by Dylan Armburst, he's like an NPC and an IFBB judge. And I was not disappointed at all. That was an awesome gym. Me and Steven had a really good workout.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I worked out with Danica, and she killed my back and shoulders.
Oh yeah, does she train hard? She looks like a little beast.
Yeah, she's a little beast for sure. I want to give her a nickname. I don't know what it is yet. Actually, I was calling her something on Saturday night at the gala, but she probably wouldn't want me to say it on here.
Oh yeah. Well, she was wearing I'll say it. It was a sexy outfit. She
Very.
she might have outdone you as far as like who wore the most outfits.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the number of outfits. Yeah, she definitely
She
outnumbered.
she changed a lot. She's like, I don't
Yeah.
ever get to leave. She like just changed every time we left the hotel. She changed.
No, I know these trips by now. I know that there's not a lot of time in like we go straight from one thing to the next. And that's why I always go, you guys probably don't even know anything about this. I go and get a blowout with my hair right before every one of these trips, so I don't have to do my hair the entire time. So it's like less that I have to worry about getting ready for.
Are you judging us? Like, how do you know I've never gotten a blowout?
I don't even know what to say to that.
So
Paul has nothing. But we actually that was the cool part about this trip though, is we actually did get a lot of time in between activities because we had like scheduled downtime. It was awesome.
Yeah, I had a great time just when there was nothing to do, just grabbing a couple people and going to do something. Like even the gym was not necessarily a required event, but I think the majority of us went to that. Because when we came back, we had to go to the selfie museum. Which again, I was like, what in the world are we going to do here? But it was just so fun to just be creative and goofy with everybody.
Yeah.
Yes. They had giant crayons, and as anyone who knows me can imagine.
Wait. Is it crayons or crayons?
Crayons?
No.
They had giant
I'm not
crayons.
even going to say it now because I'm thinking. So
I think it's crayons.
Everybody knows exactly what I did with it immediitly.
I didn't see what you did, but I'm envisioning what you did because I did the exact same thing. And then I whacked Stephanie in the head with it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and there was like a bathtub. Everybody got in the bathtub. There was a banana swing. Everybody got on the banana swing.
Ooh, I did like my banana swing picture.
Was it Tyler, the one that was hilarious? Did you guys see that picture? Or was it Stephen? I don't remember.
I thought it was Stephen with legs and kimbo.
If it was me spread eagle, then yes, it was me.
Okay, then it was you. I couldn't remember which one of you it was.
Yeah, and me and Evan got in the bathtub together. That was funny because I was like, "There's no way we're fitting," and we fit. Yeah, and I liked our little reel that we made with the phone.
Yes.
That was good. So yeah, that's, again, another time to just be goofy. And I would like just trying to watch. I would see like Lexi or Maria. I would just see what they were doing. Like I liked just watching people like be creative and come up with ideas. None of us figured out how to use that sideways bed thing. I don't know.
I think George got a good one.
George did. George got a really
good one. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he showed it to me and I was impressed.
Yeah, I think it's because he changed his camera angle, but at the same point, you could just like flip it too, I guess, like an editor.
But. Yeah.
All right. So then, so we did the selfie museum, and that was the middle of the day on Friday. And then I think we had a little bit of gap of time, right?
No, most of us just walked straight to the restaurant after that.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, most of you guys did.
Yeah, we went to the bar.
Yeah. Which restaurant was Friday night?
It was the Mexican restaurant.
Oh, that place was good.
Yeah, because I got lost.
It's like a tradition. We always go to a Mexican restaurant and drink tequila. It's tradition.
Yeah, that place was nice too because we all got to sit together, and it was in a cool area. Yeah, and they had good margaritas. Yeah,
they had good flan, and this is my measure of a true like Mexican restaurant is whether or not they have mole, and they had mole, and it was delicious.
Is that it's just no guac, just mole?
No. So mole is a traditional like South American and Mexican dish that is just a little bit spicy, but it's actually a chocolate base. So it's a very different and interesting thing, but it's absolutely delicious and amazing. I actually asked the waiter, not a single other person in our party ordered it. But it was phenomenal.
Well, chocolate spicy. I'm in. Next time I'll have to try some mole.
with
I don't know if
chicken.
that's me.
Now I feel like we had somewhere to go after dinner because I remember going somewhere. What did we do?
Well, we didn't have it picked out. We just went to some bar where there was like shuffleboard and pool and foosball. I kicked your ass at foosball.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with you in foosball. That wasn't right.
Literally, I
like,
think it was
You
like
guys were talking
10 to
haunted
1.
houses.
Well, that
I
was
don't-
later. We haven't gotten to that yet.
Yeah, but you were talking haunted houses, and you're like, okay, well then we're just gonna go to this bar instead because you said you couldn't find a haunted house.
Oh
No,
no,
we
so
were
we
just
okay.
talking
So
until we
did
were
we go
drunk
to the
enough
haunted
to-
house Friday night?
Yes.
Okay, so we go to this bar that has pool tables. It had shuffleboard. That's my favorite. I love those long shuffleboards. We played that. Danny wiped the table with me on the foosball. I still don't understand what happened.
It was literally one shot after another. It's like
No, it
10
was
to
like
1.
I don't was like I feel like I don't know. Maybe I had taken an edible and I was just slower than I imagined I was. But in my
Yeah,
mind, I
that
was
was
like,
your excuse.
in my, but in my mind, I was good. And I'm like, how is this happening? How do you keep hitting it in the goal? So yeah, we definitely. That's the other part about Denver is that the dispensaries there are literally next door to each other. It's like dispensary,
Everywhere.
Like so, we did find a dispensary on Friday and go into it. It might have even been Thursday.
It was definitely Thursday.
It was,
Yeah, it was
both,
Thursday.
because
And I remember
some people stopped on the way to the bar, or wait, on the way to the restaurant. Some people stopped in one.
And then I remember we literally walked out, like turned the corner, and there's another one. I'm like, what the heck? Like they're, yeah, you. So, yeah,
Well, wasn't it one of
everybody-
the first states to do it recreationally?
the first.
Okay, yeah.
The first. Like they were the
They've been
first,
around for a
and
while.
for a while they were the only. And the tourism was insane in Denver. I think that probably had a lot to do with their initial growth. And to this day, they're still one of the few states where like some of the buildings on the way from the airport to Denver, which is an hour and 10 minutes. That a lot of those like those warehouse buildings you see, they're just giant marijuana grow buildings, right? So like the economics of that has really helped Denver grow. It's also made it like one of the like younger, hipper cities, I think. But then they also have this weird homeless situation there. Like there was like it almost felt like California in some areas where there was like tents of homeless people.
Yeah,
a lot of homeless where we were at. Yeah.
So and then also not just homeless, but like the aggressive homeless that were like yelling at us like when we were walking. I heard that a few times too. Like I don't know if that's just every big city, but you know.
I think they were just yelling. I don't think it was at us. I think like, yeah, there were a lot of people because we had talked about this a little bit. Like if their social programs were doing maybe what they should be, because I felt like a good amount of those homeless people seemed like they had some mental issues going on.
Yeah.
as
And I
well.
think, that's probably a lot of the reason why they end up being homeless. But yeah, I don't know. It's just there were some odd moments. Nothing that would turn me off of Denver permanently, but it was just like, oh, okay, that's happening over there. All right. There's a row of tents.
Yep.
So at this point in the night, Stephen, you decided you want to go to the Meow Wolf Museum. You want to explain what that is?
Yeah. So, because it's Denver and we could do all the edibles that we wanted, we thought that the Meow Wolf Museum thing would be pretty cool, which it most certainly was. So a couple of us took off and went back to the hotel. Some of them went to bed. I think Kaylee was going to come with us, but then decided to just call it a night. So Jillian and I went to the Meow Wolf Museum, which for those of you who don't know, it's kind of like this very trippy, like mushroom LSD kind of museum thing. Lots of like different worlds, like thrown together, like mashed up, and you go from one door into another room, and now it's a completely different thing. And there's a lot of like really cool, trippy colors, and it's very artsy. And there's just a lot to like look at and like try and experience in there. So we went and did that, which was awesome. I think we spent like an hour and a half in there, and we were still like, did we see everything? Did we go everywhere in there?
Probably not. I bet there's like a bunch of secret hidden doors and stuff.
So I'll be honest. I heard all the stories about like secret doors and other stuff. There was like one secret door-esque room that we found. that was like behind like an old school like cigarette machine kind of thing. And you pulled it out, and then it was just one room, and you're like, oh, okay. We didn't really find any other secret doors. It wasn't as interactive as I think I was hoping it would be. So I think in that aspect, either one, I just missed out on it and couldn't figure it out, or two,
Sounds
it
like your
wasn't as
edible wasn't
interactive.
strong.
Um,
Sounds like your edible wasn't strong enough.
I don't like getting super duper over the top with that though.
I don't
Um,
blame you.
it was a blast though. Like it was a lot of fun. It was very cool. There were a lot of like really neat aspects of it that like you would get lost in for a good, 3 to 5 minutes just staring at a couple of things and you'd be like, sweet. And of course, Jill is like, she went to like a private art school thing that you had to apply to and stuff. So she was like, loved it. She was just through the moon about it. So, obviously like that was great in and of itself. But, we also, it was a good thing because we had a little bit of a dog sitter debacle where the dogs had been home for an extremely long amount of time without having the dog sitter there. So she was really freaking out about that. So it helped to kind of like
Not
get
gonna
her
do
back
well with kids,
for the
dude.
weekend.
Dog sitter.
Dude, well, somebody was supposed to be watching the house and they left and it said that they left at 11:30. Well, it was like 10 p.m. our time
Oh,
at
I
that
got
point,
you. So
and they
they
still
weren't
hadn't
actually
been
there.
back.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
I
beagles
would have
were
been
great.
freaking out too. I would have been pissed.
I wasn't very happy, to say the least. We won't be using that person again.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
But it did help. Like I said, it was a nice thing to get her back into like having fun in the weekend and chilling out again.
Yeah.
Like so it was awesome. It was like $45, but definitely worth it. I'd say if you haven't been, go. It's very cool. If you have been, I probably wouldn't say go again, if that makes sense.
Well, I think you
our
chose very
tickets-
poorly.
What? Yeah. Yeah, and our tickets were only $45 each too, right, Paul?
Well, you know me. I upgraded us to the VIPs.
So we get to the haunted house. This is after the shuffleboard bar, and there's like 6 of us. It was me, Paul, Adam, Marissa, Stephanie, and
That's it.
Tyler.
Oh, Tyler. Right.
So we get there, and it would have been like a 2-hour wait. There were so many people. When I say people, I mean teenagers. We were definitely the oldest people there.
It was lined around the block. It was like you were trying to get into Disney.
Yeah, we were like, okay, we're not waiting in this line. We're either gonna figure out how to get like a fast pass or we're out of here. So I like pull up the website and I'm looking at all the options. There's like 6 different tiers of packages you can buy, and each one, the more expensive they get, the more perks you get. And I scroll to the bottom, and I'm totally joking. I'm like, Paul, we could buy the VIP Platinum package. And you're like, what do you get? And so I gotta go through it, and there was like, so there's a bar next to right next to the haunted house, like it's connected. And so we got to go in it, and then there was like when you're in the haunted house, if you buy VIP, they pull you aside, or they snatch you up, is what they kept saying. They snatch you up and they take you to a secret bar that was in the haunted house and give you a shot. So like you get all these fancy things with it, and I'm like, Paul, it's $100 a person. We're not doing this. And you just look at me and you're like, fuck it, we're doing it. Don't tell Misty.
Just told
and now Misty knows.
She's not gonna listen to
this.
She's gonna have no idea. Unless somebody
Well, it also included like unlimited times through the haunted house. We also got to go through, if we wanted to do the escape rooms, it included the other haunted house that was there. There was a bunch of little perks.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was only 6 of us. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. And we literally got right in. As soon as we got our passes, they escorted us directly to the bar. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Literally. Yeah. We were just going around. We had these badges. We were just showing our badges to everyone. We're like, we're VIP. We're VIP.
Yeah. Literally.
Multi-pass.
And I had bought a pair of hiking boots for the next day because I didn't bring anything to hike in, and I brought them in to the place, and I just said, here, I'm going to leave these here. And the lady's like, okay. And I ended up getting them when I left. Like, they were in a Target bag. So,
yeah.
It was
it was fun, though. We went, what was this? There was actually a couple parts in the haunted house that were pretty.
Oh, that elevator thing was freaking awesome.
The elevator was definitely, like, the most legit part. It definitely freaked me out. Like, I don't really get freaked out in those things, I just have fun with it. But when we got closed in to an
Yeah.
elevator and couldn't get out, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, all of us, it was kind of like you're going through the haunted house, you're going through, and I mean, at this point, none of us are sober. So then you just go into, and you can't really tell where you're going, and all of a sudden you're in an elevator, and the door behind you closes, and you're like, wait, why am I in an elevator? And then there's a person done up, just standing in the corner, not saying anything, just staring at you.
And
we're
the
like,
thing
"What?"
starts shaking, like, from side to side.
Yeah, like moving, like
Yeah.
we're
We
falling
legit
over.
moved.
Yeah. And then when the door opened, you were somewhere else. It was pretty good.
You know you moved. But yeah, Marissa almost didn't get it when she
Oh,
realized
she was not doing well.
when she realized it was an elevator, she put her arms out and was, like, trying to stop from going in, and you had to literally pick her up
Yeah.
and put her in the elevator.
Well, she was covering her ears and eyes the whole haunted house. She was just kind of like going through. Yeah, she wasn't really taking it all in. And I'll be honest, being in the front, it's an experience in those things. It's
Yeah. You were in the back
coming.
through the first haunted house, you were in the back and I was in the front.
Yeah.
Adam, he was honestly cracking me up. He was terrified. Terrified. He had a death grip on my arm the entire time.
It was pitch black in parts. Like you couldn't even see your hand in front of your face. And like you could only feel like the walls. And then they had that part where it was like puffing out on your legs.
That freaked me out because I'm claustrophobic. And you don't know if like someone's gonna pop up like it was like these giant, best way to describe it was like these giant airbags that fill up and kind of squeeze you, and you have to like push yourself through them. And there was a bunch of
rooms that like got more and more narrow as you were going through them, and then it was just
I hated that. I hated that. I'm claustrophobic.
I don't feel like I made the wrong decision at all based on these stories. In fact, I feel like I made the most right decision I could have.
They're just fun. It's just, I don't know. You just, not every city has these like massive. I mean, we've been pretty lucky. We were in St. Louis a couple of years ago for that one. You did that one, right, Stephen?
Yeah.
But I was drinking with you guys that time. You know what I mean? So like, I think that
Jillian wasn't there. Is that the difference?
No, I mean, like I just got done prepping and I didn't want to, blow up super hard and go overboard.
Oh yeah, you would have got drunk real easy on this trip. Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
For sure.
No, so I think the St. Louis one was longer, and it had more like different themed based rooms. This one was more like unpredictable. You couldn't see very much.
Yeah. Well, the second like mini one that we went into was pitch black the entire time. They called it a sensory something experience. Yeah. And the point of it was you can't see anything. You can only feel your way around, and that you felt really weird things.
That one was weird for sure.
Yeah, that one, and it was definitely some claustrophobic parts for sure. Well, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So, and I learned, I would literally like a week before the trip, I was bragging to Kyle about my pelvic floor and how everything's fine because he was like, "Are you just gonna pee your pants?" He literally was like, "Are you gonna pee your pants every time you sneeze or cough now?" And I'm like, "Actually, no, I'm totally great. I don't have that issue anymore." Yeah, I was wrong. And I literally did when we were in the haunted house. Every time someone would pop out and startle you, I would scream and have to like cross my legs because I kept peeing. I couldn't even control it.
You guys continue. I gotta let somebody in the neighborhood.
I am so very happy about that part of this story.
That I peed my pants?
Yeah. I mean, that's for a friend. I mean, that's one of the greatest gifts you can give is peeing your pants in a public place.
You're welcome.
My gosh.
It wasn't even like a few dribbles either. Like it was like
well,
but I'm not even ashamed because I legit could not control it.
I think it's just funny that you were bragging about your pelvic floor to your husband. That's
that's also an odd thing to brag about. But all right.
A term that most men don't even know what that means.
All the mamas out there feel me. They understand.
Yeah, understood. And all the women who deadlift at powerlifting meets, because if you didn't know, that is a pee puddle by the end of the meet.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's like, I don't want to say any names, but like,
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, she would like literally every set just pee. It was fucking gross.
Yeah.
It was like a funny thing. Yeah. But at powerlifting meets, yeah, the women, they're all tinkling down there.
Just happens.
So it doesn't happen to men
I
at powerlifting?
don't. No, I think I've had the safety wipe a few times after a heavy squat or deadlift, but I've never had a tinkle time.
Oh boy, Steven's got
Oh.
Hershey squirts when he does this.
I mean, hey man.
I mean, you are
sometimes,
putting
know.
a lot of pressure on that lower abdomen area and bracing. So for women, it makes sense, but for men,
Yeah.
no, I've never had the urge to pee or anything. But you
Have
do,
you never had
you
a
every
fart
now and
pop
then
out
see,
on a heavy squat?
you do see some people vomit at powerlifting meets.
Oh,
I can understand that.
I actually
Sure.
had my client Boston Sean. He was dehydrated, so he
Boston
chugged a V8 right before one of his deadlifts. And he did the deadlift, and I see him going, "Whoop," and he sets it down and he runs off, and he's like, "Yeah, I got sick after." I was like, "Yeah, we should have chugged a V8."
Oh wow. I mean,
I think that's
isn't that
against their slogan, actually. Like, their slogan is that you should have had a V8.
Yeah, well, you could have.
See? No, he wasn't wrong. Like, he did it
All
right.
right, so did we do anything after that? So we head back to the hotel after our adventures.
we went and hung out in someone's room for like a minute, but we were like planning on trying to hang out, but we
Oh,
all
yeah.
got there,
I
sat down,
think-
we were like, yeah, no, we're going to bed.
Well, I think me and Marissa and Adam, we were all doing the math. Like, okay, let's go hang out. And then we're like, wait a minute, it's 1 o'clock here. It's freaking 3 o'clock where we live. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
And Saturday we had a couple things planned, right? So Saturday, Stephen, now you can jump in. Now we had the hike planned, right?
Yeah, so we went and got breakfast at Syrup again. This time, instead of getting the Eggs Benedict, which was delicious, I got the coconut French toast, which was also delicious.
How
Yeah.
Stephen
love,
remembers his trips. I don't remember what I ate for breakfast every day.
I remember my trips based on the food. Well, I just got done dieting for 10 months, so of course. And then you and I had to leave early to go get the fans. So we picked up the vans. To my chagrin, they had windows, so everybody could see what was going on. And I didn't get to, drive up in the windowless van to come tell everybody to get in. But my van was super nice. It even had like the spot to plug in my phone. So I had like the GPS on it and everything. It was cool.
Well, I'll say this: I think it was Avis. The car rental place was literally like just a couple blocks from the hotel, so we were able to walk, get the vans, come back, pick everybody up, and then when we were done, drop the vans off, drop everybody off, drop the van. It was so convenient, man. It was so convenient because I was like, that could have been a big hassle.
Yeah, I can't believe we
props to
fit
Nikki. She did a
everybody.
great job.
Yeah, seriously, the vans was perfect. Like everybody fit in there very comfortable.
Well, and Christina Castle is from Denver. So, and I forgot to mention Rachel. So Rachel lives in Denver area. She came out and trained with us on Friday. Rachel Saylor.
Rachel Sullivan, is that her last name?
No, Saylor.
Saylor.
Rachel Sullivan lives in Tampa.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Rachel Saylor. So she actually came to train, and then Christina, who lives there, she's got a big old truck because she's a country girl. So she drove a couple of people too, but everybody would have fit either way.
Yeah, and I actually apparently we took different routes to get there because I left before you, was ahead of you, then got there after you. And actually,
but I think that's more about like right when you got to the mountain, there was a bunch of different parking lots, and I don't think we all knew where to go.
Yeah, we were just trying to figure out the right parking lot.
Well, I definitely got lost on leaving with that because I went to go a specific way, and then the road I was supposed to take a right on, it's like, this road is closed. And then, you got a huge van that you're trying to 3-point turn on like a 2-lane road in the mountains. I was like, nope. But anyway, so yeah, we got there. I got there. We pulled up right as you guys were getting out of the van, I think.
Yeah.
And
it was the same time.
Yeah. So Red Rocks and the Red Rocks Amphitheater,
Well, the hike was nice. My calves were sore for like 3 days after that hike. I don't know if anyone else had sore calves.
No, my calves are huge. I work them out all the time. It's definitely not something I got feedback on at my first show.
Maybe they're not sore because you don't actually have any, Stephen. But I think the takeaway from the Red Rocks hike, it's forever going to be that weird mother effer that runs backwards and rolls down and up. Like I don't know. I really don't understand.
No, okay. So you have to tell the story. So there's this crazy guy. Is he like a famous TikToker or something
So
like
I
that?
think we've all seen it on Instagram. So if anyone hasn't been to Red Rock Amphitheater, it's probably, I mean, hundreds of feet high, and the steps are
Gorgeous.
very wide because it's meant to be sat on. But there's this guy, and I've seen the video of it before, where he runs down backwards. And mind you, if he trips, he's dead. Like, he's going so fast. If he falls or trips, he's going to get seriously injured. So you've seen this before, and we're all sitting around talking, and someone says like, "Oh, have you ever seen the thing where the guy runs down backwards?" And literally, I look to my left, and the guy starts doing it. He's got no shirt on. He's very well built. He's got like a bandana on and tight little shorts.
He looked like a smaller version of Brett, I thought. Like I was
Brett Contreras?
Yeah, I was like, who brought Brett's little brother here, and why is he doing the stairs?
I'll accept that. And he immediately starts running backwards down the stairs in a stadium full of people.
And he's like trying to maneuver around people who are walking by, almost takes multiple people out.
Yeah, and like he does like Spider-Man push-ups across to go around the people that are sitting in front of him, and like all this other wild stuff. I remember I started talking trash because like he was doing all the stuff, and then
he was rolling down.
Yeah, so he was rolling down.
He started rolling down, like on his, like laying flat on his back, but rolling down. And we're all making fun of him. And Steven's like, I'd be more impressed if he started rolling up. He legit started rolling up. I swear he heard you say that.
I ate my words. I was impressed. Like, kudos. I mean, I can't even be mad. Like,
I think that guy just lives for people to film him because he was like coming in between us. Like, there was definitely a spot where he could have done it and been less encumbered, and he was like trying to stand by us, our group.
Yeah.
Everybody was watching. I don't know what his.
Yeah, I ran up the stairs. I wasn't going to do the rest.
Yeah, I think we all tried it just to see what it was like. I mean, a couple of years ago, I did a full sprint up all the stairs with my buddy Mike that came out with us, with my buddy Big Mike. And it was hard, but it wasn't like impossible. Now running backwards, that's a whole nother. Yeah. No way. No thanks.
I couldn't even walk it backwards. Like my legs are too short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, once you
what a beautiful setting. That amphitheater. I really want to see a concert there someday. Like
that would be cool. Yeah. But once you get running up, like if you have the right stride, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Was it Maria Nemeth? Somebody did it.
Yeah, let's see. Well, Danica,
Stephen
Maria,
did it too.
And Stephanie?
Yeah, I also did it. You got video of me doing it, remember?
That's right. Yeah, you did it. All right. So then we all had our little picnic. We brought some meat sticks and like fruit.
Those things were good.
They were really good.
We also saw a deer and a bunny rabbit.
Yeah, it was a real rabbit. Who said that? Is that a real deer? I'm like, what? Like deer are so rare.
They just had fake animals out there like placed, so people are like, oh, look at the deer.
Yeah, but it's like it's like snake. Is that a triceratops? It's not. It's a deer. Like, is there one place in the world that doesn't have deer? Like they're in Florida, they're in Michigan. I see them everywhere.
It was very close. It was very close to us. I will give whoever said that some credit. It was not skittish at all.
Oh no, it was right there. Yeah, it was in the brush.
It was just like scratching its butt.
Yeah.
So now we're to Saturday night and we have our fancy gala.
Wait, you skipped. We went back to View House after.
Oh, some of us did. So yeah, when we got back, we had a few hours to kill, and it was Saturday, so there was football on TV, and a few of us went to. Well, so Dani and I had a secret project. So for a while now, I've wanted to do a version of the Dundies, but with Pro Physique. And I didn't tell you guys this, but I wanted to call them the PPs.
Should have missed opportunities.
Because the Pro Physique, the PPs.
Wow.
Yeah.
But we left that one out. But yeah, so I had to have Dani help me come up with an award for every single person, which was a lot more challenging than I thought it would be. I think in the back of my mind, I think Misty was initially going to do it, but she had to leave. So she's like, well, you'll have to come up with them. And I mean, it was hard to think of something unique and funny.
Some people it was very easy.
Yeah, some people were very easy.
Some people, well, it's just people that we know better. We were coming up with like 10 different things for them. We're like, oh, we already have one for them.
Yeah, so it actually turned into a most likely award. So you're most likely to do this, most likely to do that. And the biggest miss was after we gave Kaylee hers, she goes, "Oh, mine should have been most likely to tell you to go fuck yourself." I'm like, damn it. That was
What did hers end up being? Was it most likely to get kicked out of somewhere for swearing?
most likely to swear in public or something. Yeah.
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 Well,
And
what was really funny is this: as soon as you named it and named her, she goes, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. On cue.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was our job. So we ended up playing cornhole, which I'm pretty sure I dominated cornhole.
It was a close game. Maria and I kept up very well.
Yeah, you are surprisingly good at cornhole. You kept getting them right in the damn hole. So
I was swishing it.
You're oddly good at like eye-hand coordination sports apparently. So I have to keep an eye out for you because I don't know, why are you smelling your finger right now, Stephen? What's she doing?
You don't want to know the answer to that.
It's like
never had
I didn't even
realize smelling their finger.
What's the movie with Paul Rudd and Sean William Scott?
Role models?
Yeah, he goes, "Guess what I did last night?"
Terrible.
Gross.
Yeah, so we ended up having a real good time. My buddy Big Mike, who lives in Denver, came and met us at the View House. They have like 15 cornhole boards and like, I definitely had a lot of margaritas. At one point, I remember thinking like, I'm getting really way too drunk for daytime. Like
That's how I felt.
I had to stop drinking.
That was how I felt about you guys, and that's why I wasn't there.
Yeah. I
was like, they're going hard.
Very often. Day drinking for me is my favorite. That's why I liked Napa Valley when we did that trip, because I was like, man, it's so fun to day drink and go to bed by 8. Like you just.
I know. Actually, so funny story. We've talked about the Napa Valley trip on here a couple of times now. I've had some people reach out who've listened to the podcast saying they're going and asking me for tips, and so I've basically been planning all of these other people's tips who are like listening to the podcast. Oh,
I mean, if you've never been, if we had gone without you, it would have been really overwhelming. There's just what 500 wineries, and it's
so what's hard about it these days is every place you go, winery, restaurant, whatever it is, you have to have reservations or they will not let you in. Like if you walk up somewhere and they're like, "Yeah, we don't have reservations," they will give you a dirty look and be like, "What are you even thinking?" So like you have to plan the entire thing out or else you're not going to get to do what you want to do.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was the perfect trip with you, because like we literally just, gym, breakfast, tastings, dinner, bed, repeat. Like it was just awesome. So that's kind of why I wanted to do the day drinking in Denver, because I'm like, we got this little time to kill. We watched football, we threw bags, we goofed around. You and I came up with a bunch of stuff. And then we had to get back to the hotel I think we got back. I think it started at 6 or 7.
6. Yeah.
So I think we got back about 5. So we were probably there like 3-4 hours, having a blasty. What did you do during that time, Stephen? Hotel sex?
I did not do hotel sex. We went out and got a sandwich from my cat because so they actually had a restaurant out there called Snarf's Sandwiches. So for those of you who don't know, our kitten, who is actually getting fixed right now, her name is Snarf, and she is adorable. So I will leave it at that before I get on a Snarf rampage. But we went out and got sandwiches, and they were actually phenomenal. I also got Barnaby the Judgment Bear because I saw him in the window initially. And for whatever reason, my ADHD hyper-focused on him. And he just, like, if you don't see him, like, so I really hope we put a clip of this. He looks so just unimpressed with everything that I've done in my life. Like, he just has this face on him where it's like, you could do better, Stephen. Like, you could really, I really wish you were better. So
I'm more interested in the screaming skull in the background.
Oh, that's my real-life Skeletor that Jillian painted for me.
From He-Man, the bad guy?
Yeah. But yeah, so we went and got a sandwich, which was honestly for like a chain, and I didn't realize that they were a chain. Amazing. It was so good. I got the big fat Snarf.
Now, was this restaurant themed around the Thundercats?
Not at all. There was no Thundercat anything in there. I was like, where did they get their name? They had like some like local artists like painted like Star Wars things in there, but you couldn't buy them. They weren't for sale. So that's, otherwise we might have bought one. But zero Thundercat anything there. And I was very confused.
Very strange.
But the sandwich was delicious.
Danny's like, what the hell is a Thundercat?
Pretty much.
Like, I don't understand. Which also, that's an amazing idea too, to like do a restaurant, be like, do a He-Man restaurant and then have nothing to do with He-Man on any. And then like anytime anybody asks about He-Man, like, what's He-Man?
Just call it Skeletors.
Yeah. Just like purposely just say you're not allowed to talk about it.
Snarf was the pet cat on Thundercats, which was a cartoon comic book based on cat-based characters, right? So each character has the traits of a certain cat, like Lionel was the lion, Cheetara was a cheetah. So the fact that they had a pet cat and his name was Snarf is very funny because it was the only actual cat and it doesn't have I don't know, it's just
yeah. So we went and did that. We got sandwiches. I got Barnaby the Judgment Bear, which was probably the best decision I've ever made in my entire life.
You know what? That actually looks like it could be a cool bodybuilding trophy. Like if you put a little plaque on the bottom and said first place for like the
like that. There's that High Oh My show, or wait, Mile High.
Mm-hmm.
High Oh My.
Did you say High Oh My? Yeah, like that would be a cool show if you did that in like Bear Country and it was called like the Black Bear Classic or something, and that'd be the trophies. That'd be cool.
So I did buy a little namelet plaque for it. So same as the bodysuit, it will have a plaque that just says Barnaby the Judgment Bear. And that's going to be added to it as soon as it gets in. But then we found this other really cool coffee shop, and I wish I could remember the name of it. It was right across the street from that diner, that number 3 diner that was on the Food Network channel.
You definitely got an espresso. That's your thing now.
I did. But it was like an espresso bar and bar. Well, espresso's just delicious.
Now.
Okay.
No.
And I'm getting into my newfound Italian heritage that I'll be marrying into. Okay. So I don't know. I just like it. So anyways, but the place was phenomenal. Like you would have been in love with this place, Danny. It was very upscale looking, but nothing was crazy expensive. Tons of comfortable chairs, like fake fires. They had a pool table in there. Full bar along with all the espresso bar. They did all the drinks. Actually did a cortado, not an espresso, but whatever. And it was beautiful because it was kind of right overlooking a lot of nice scenery in the middle of the city as well. It was really, really cool. So that was phenomenal. So we did that. And then we went and got gelato, which was also good. We went into a chocolate store, almost bought some chocolates. They had like house-made peanut butter cups with like regular chocolate and dark chocolate.
Oh, I almost got one,
but it was like 30 grams of fat per.
Did they have a white chocolate one?
I did not see a white chocolate one.
Oh, white chocolate's the best.
I think it was Kilwins, was the name of the spot. But just walking in there, you're like, oh, it smells so good. So we went in there. Then we went to the little candy store that they had, like sugar or whatever it was called. They had a bunch of really
reminding
cool
me of J Brew right now, who has like a list of all the food places to go to in the city.
Well, he did just diet for an entire year almost.
Right. So. That's what I mean.
Yeah. But I didn't get food at most of them. It was just like the places looked cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, all right, well, let's see if we want like something from here. And we would look and be like, nah, maybe not. You know, like I said, we ended up getting like some small gelatos, whatever. But the sugar place had a bunch of really cool, like they had a bunch of like plushies and other cool things. They had like booby pops that had like nipples on them and stuff. They had a bunch of like bachelorette party wiener things that were edible. It was like I was like, why does this candy store have all these different things? They had like little bobbleheads. So it was kind of cool, you know, like, because we were just exploring and looking around, and I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Look, boobs and penises that you can eat.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a bachelorette party.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly like that.
Like Daraja's bachelorette party. What?
We forgot to talk about our Uber driver on the way home from the haunted house.
Ooh.
Oh, I was going to say, because we had a better Uber driver on the way to the airport we can talk about.
Okay, we'll get to that. But oh yeah, I saw the picture you posted.
Yeah.
No, so he picks us up. We waited forever. It took him forever to get there. And he technically didn't have enough room for us, even though he ordered an XL. So he like wasn't gonna let us
Oh
in
no,
at first.
he had to clean out the car. That always bothers me when someone shows up with an Uber XL, which says it fits 6, and there's like stuff in the front seat, stuff in the back seat. You're like, what do you think was happening here?
Yeah. So what, but no, it's funny. We get in, we cram it. There are literally 5 of us crammed into one back seat. Girls were sitting on laps and stuff. But he was fucking with us the whole time. It was hilarious.
We knew we
The
were.
first thing he did is so obviously we're the oldest people there, and we all get in the car, and before he even takes off, he just looks at us and he goes, "What the hell are you guys doing here?" All these like 30 and 40-year-olds in the car.
Yeah. No, the funny part was when we were driving on the freeway and he pulls over and he's like, "Oh no, the car is broken down."
He just stops and looks at us.
We're like, "What?" And then he just floors it. He goes, "Just kidding."
And that dude either gets no stars or 5 stars and a huge tip from everyone he drives.
Just like, did that just really happen? What's going on right now?
Oh, and then Stephanie, when we're at a stoplight, the little white man that pops up when it's like okay to walk across the street, like she goes, "Do you know what I'm talking about?
The walk, don't walk sign, the bright white walk
person."
symbol.
Yeah. She goes, "Oh, look, their little white men look like Sasquatch."
So we all look out the window, and I'm like, I don't see a Sasquatch, Stephanie. I just see a
like she thought that they looked different there in Colorado, that they purposely made them look different.
Which is actually, now I'm mad that they haven't done that, because that would be funny.
It would be hilarious.
That would be awesome.
And Marissa swears she saw it
although too. I think the Sasquatch is more Pacific Northwest than Denver.
Yeah, probably. That would make more sense.
Yeah.
I mean, well, global warming, maybe he's moved. Maybe he migrated.
That global warming is bullcrap, dude. It's cold today in Florida.
Yeah, it's cold here too.
It's
like, I'm wearing UGG boots and long sleeves and like long pants right now. It's wonderful.
We also need to highlight the friendship that no one ever would have thought that occurred. The new bestie friendship that occurred.
I don't even know about it.
Evan and Marissa.
They're best friends now?
Did you not see this?
I thought it was Evan and Matt that were best friends now.
I think Evan became best friends with everybody.
Yeah, that's actually probably pretty valid. No, him and Marissa, it had started Friday night at the Shuffleboard bar. They were smoking a little bit, to say the least. And they had an experience together out on the streets. Did you guys hear the story?
No.
I feel like
apparently not.
This is an interesting way to start the story, and I have all sorts of assumptions already.
Yeah, what's the experience?
Okay, I mean, I'm totally gonna butcher it. I don't know the exact details, but for some reason they were out in front of the bar on the street, probably smoking, and they said that there was some homeless guy that was in a cape, but he was basically naked except for this cape. And he had like a scream mask on and a drum. And Evan was very adamant about the fact that his legs were shaved. Exactly. So they come in from this experience trying to tell everybody this story, and nobody believes them. They just think that they hallucinated it.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if that dude's naked and only wearing a cape, how are you looking at whether or not his legs are shaven?
Right? I know. I have lots of questions.
Paul's just shaking his head. You're either looking away or you're stuck.
They went back out. I went back out with them. I walked them out of the bar because we were all about to leave, and they didn't know where the exit was, and they were telling the story over and over again, and they were so adamant about it, and they went off looking for him again. So
definitely not.
I think Evan was in full freedom mode because he had a long year of prepping and stuff like that, and I've never really seen him cut loose like this before, so it was good to hang out with him.
It was very entertaining, to say the least.
I'm actually getting ready to go meet him in an hour at MI40 with Brittany Hamilton. We're going to do a little YouTube today. We're going to do a little training and yeah.
Nice.
Tell us
All right,
about your YouTube on the way to the airport.
What's
wait,
that?
we haven't talked about the gala. Well, let's talk about the gala, and then at the end, you tell us about your YouTube on the way to the Uber on the way to the airport.
Oh yeah, she was a very interesting driver. Yeah, so the gala was good because that was our first chance to so I think I wanted to start some tradition. So I want to do this event every year. I want to travel to different cities and have us all go and it just be like a something like we look forward to every year, right? So what city are we going to go to? We've already talked about next year about some possibilities, but then I also wanted to start some of these traditions because now that we've been doing this for a few years, Stephen was the first coach that we hired. And it's been 7 years with Stephen. And every year he's like, where's my fucking award, dude? It's been 5 years. It's been, so he's always had this running joke. So now we have, a full complement of coaches. And so this year we started with the 2-year, 3-year, 4-year, 5-year, so anybody over 2 years now is going to start getting some kind of awards. And I want to make them, more substantial as the years go on. But, so we gave Stephen a special plaque. He was the only one that got a plaque this year. Where is it? Is it hanging up?
It's right here. Everybody sees
there
it
it is.
every
Cool.
single time.
Oh no, you have to tilt your camera.
There it is. Cool.
There we go.
Yeah, so we made Stephen have his special award for years of service, and I think in the future that will evolve into something a little more. Maybe we'll do that for every single. Maybe 5-year we'll do a certain something, and a 3-year, something like that. And then we did the Pro Physiques. I don't know what we got to come up with a name for them, those awards, because now that we've done it once, it's kind of like, I don't know, like roasting, but also there was definitely some people that I was like, can we go this far with it?
I think there was only one of those where I thought it was questionable.
There was
all the others I thought were pretty
well, so it comes down to how well and how comfortable I am roasting you. And Marissa is literally, I see her all the time, and we know her very well for years. So we made
that one was my idea.
I don't even know how to say it, what we made hers, but it was definitely a little risque. And everybody else, I tried to make unique and funny, right? But and Dani helped a lot, and I think I even had to ask Stephen for a couple because it comes down to you want it to be something that endears you to that person, but is also kind of like everyone in the room goes, oh yeah, that's true, right? So
yeah.
I know Stephen's had something to do with being awkward. What was yours, Stephen?
Most likely to make any conversation awkward.
Which is everyone knows that's you, right?
Yeah.
And then Dani, I changed yours at the last second, Dani. What did I make yours?
Yeah, you totally tricked me. Most likely to plan every detail of a trip event down to the minute or something like that.
So I tricked Dani because I had to have her help me. So I changed hers on the sheet that she was looking at and made it like most bougie or most likely to be bougie. And then I swapped it on her because I had to surprise her.
Well, I was so confused because when you worded it at first, what you said was you go, I'm gonna read these and you want you guys to guess who it is. And you read mine first, and I was like, oh, it's going to be, that one's Nikki, because we had talked about hers being something to do with organization. And then I was so confused, because literally as soon as you read mine, the entire room in unison was like, Dani.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, you definitely.
And then it was cool, because we had like a DJ. The dinner was really good. I mean, the view from the balcony of the hotel, it was like a nice night out. There was a fireplace. We took pictures. And I think I always like when we have our Christmas party because I was like, we don't as adults have a lot of reasons to get dressed up. We all wore suits. We all wore gowns. It's just nice to look nice and feel good sometimes. And just so it was like a really good ending to the trip because, it was just our way of like saying, hey, we're doing good things. And I'm proud of everybody that's doing all this stuff. And I want that camaraderie to continue with us, right? So it gets tough. We all have busy lives and kids and weddings and things to do all the time. So, we got another really cool event coming up next weekend, which is Daraja's wedding. So a lot of us are going to be at that. And that's, think about that. Like Daraja was my client and now half of our company's going to her freaking wedding. Like, that's just awesome. So I was excited. And then I think we probably stayed out a little too late Saturday night.
Did you guys go out afterwards?
We tried.
Go out afterwards. We tried, and it was so weird because again, the hotel.
Wait,
I thought let's just go downstairs to the hotel bar. The hotel bar closed at like 9:30.
Yeah.
So then we had to try to find a bar. So we all decided to walk. And I think we walked away from where the bars were because we couldn't find an open bar. Everywhere we went, they were closing. Then we found a train.
I blame Brett. Brett was the one with the map. I blame him.
Yeah, I was super confused.
Did you get on the train, Dani, that we got on?
Yeah, well, like the first half, we were ahead. Some of us were ahead of you guys, and then all of a sudden we look back and you guys are on the bus waving at us. But then you pulled up, stopped, and picked us up.
And you were on there when the old guy got on, and he invited us to his house. He's like, "I want to go wherever you guys are going. You guys are fun." He's like, "You can come to my house."
I have a feeling he was like an old rich, like really rich old single man.
I think so. I think he was just out. He was just happy-go-lucky. He was having a great time.
Yeah, he gave Kaylee a kiss on the cheek.
A tent. Like, yeah, right. Like, he's not like some old rich guy. He just brings you to a tent.
No, he was telling us he lived above a restaurant. Like there's a bar below my house or something.
Well, and he had a to-go bag from Capitol Grill, and that's like a really nice steakhouse.
Yeah.
So
and guarantee then we also, so we finally made it to Union Station. That's where we ended up.
Ooh. Oh, it is?
That's where the really good breakfast spot was. The other really good breakfast spot.
Well, Union Station, it's like the train station, I guess, but it's also like there's like a bunch of businesses in there, and it's like a big gathering room. But we found a restaurant that was open that was serving, and we got a big booth, and we all just got in there, and yeah, it was. I think I overdid it a little bit that night.
We were all so tired by the time we actually got there, though, that we like. The girls, at least, we ordered one drink and didn't even drink it. We're like, okay, we're done.
Yeah, and I also have that internal, like, okay, I'm getting too drunk. And I thought for sure I wasn't going to feel good on Sunday morning, but I woke up feeling great. I'm still the magical thing of tequila. If I just drink tequila, I'm fine. You know, and I do drink some waters in between and stuff like that. But I think most of us had a flight out on Sunday morning. Nikki told me to be downstairs at 7, and we kind of so our Uber shows up. So I did the Uber XL, and again, she showed up with like stuff on her seats, but her car was pink. It was like a bright.
Was it like the Mary Kate car?
Yes, like, bright pink. Like it must have been wrapped. It was like neon pink.
I saw that car.
And on the back left window, in big letters, it said "Fuck around and find out."
I saw that car.
Weren't people saying that all weekend? Somebody was saying that.
Everyone's been saying it lately. There's this meme going around that the more fuck around, the more you find out. It's just kind of a thing right now. So I thought it was funny that it said it on her car. But then she was a character. She was just telling us all the stuff about the homeless people, about the politics of Denver. And, you know, I'm freaking tired. And I had to ride in the front seat because I'm always the stupid tallest person. So I'm in the front seat next to her. And we get out when we get to the airport. And Marissa's like, I could just tell you were like, just please be quiet. Because I was just like this the whole time. Just staring awkwardly while she was running her mouth, you know. But she was actually super nice and funny. But yeah, if you said a word, she like went off on a tangent on that topic, you know. So
yeah.
And then that was it. I think it was an awesome trip. My flights home were good. I think did you get on the delayed flight, Stephen?
No. I woke up Sunday, saw you guys' story after you left of you being on a train or a bus, was extremely confused as to what the hell happened with you guys, and then said, screw it.
The night before.
Yeah, we went to Snooze AM Eatery, which was amazing. I had the best homemade corned beef hash and pumpkin pecan pancakes I've ever had in my life. So if you're in Denver, Snooze AM Eatery, they have one at the airport also. And then we came back and just went to the airport early, which I was thankful for because it was busy, obviously. And Sunday was pretty easy for us. We're boring.
Yeah, for whatever reason, when we got to the airport, it was me, Marissa, Nikki, and Phil. Nikki and Phil had the TSA pre-check. I don't have that. So they went in the TSA pre-check line.
You've got to get that.
Did you get your pre-check already?
No, I can't find my passport. So I went down to the office and they're like, "Oh, you need your passport." I don't know. There was a hitch in the giddy up when I went to get it. But you're gonna laugh, Steve, because this happens to me and you sometimes. We beat them through security.
That did not happen for everybody when we got there.
Yeah, I think we just got lucky. Faster. Like a gate just opened, and they're like, "Oh, security!" And we went right through. We didn't even wait 1 second. We went right through.
Which, speaking of flying, Kyle and I leave for Napa on Saturday. It's actually a work trip for his company, and it's like a customer thing, but it's a special one where they get to invite the wives too. he just texted me while we were on this because of his status with the flight, and there's like there's not very many people on the flight. We just got upgraded to first class. Woo woo.
Surprise, Dani's flying first class.
We're not paying for it.
I've never flown first class still.
It will mess you up. It's not good.
It spoils.
I'm not going to do it.
It spoils you. They bring you warm nuts.
But I have those.
Stephen? Yeah, I was going to say, Stephen, leave it. No, 1 year I upgraded. So Doug Miller and I were flying to Australia for the Arnold. And he messaged me the day before and he said, hey, because he had bought my flight for United because I was working for Core. So he's like, I bought your flight, but I'm not going to buy your upgrade. But they have last second upgrades available for $1,000. He's like, usually it's $18,000 because it's a 12-hour flight.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm buying an upgrade for myself. He's like, I would recommend it. And I was like, hell yeah, because I didn't pay for my flight anyway. So I paid for the upgrade. So I flew first class from LA to Melbourne, Australia for like 13 hours. And it was like the pod where you can lay flat. It had 2 TVs, one on the side, one in the front. They brought you food anytime you wanted it. It was like full cookies and snacks and then full meals. Like, oh, you want an egg white omelet with mushrooms and tomatoes? What do you want? Like, it was unbelievable. I didn't even want to get off the damn airplane. I slept for 8 hours. I got all my work done. I was like, damn it, we got to get out of the plane now. So yeah,
that's how I felt. We flew to Italy and Hawaii first class that was a whole other weird upgrade thing too that we didn't have to pay for.
It's the first time I ever got off a plane and felt better than when I got on. Because I literally slept and woke up and got up and worked. I was like, yeah, it was very weird. I was like, oh, okay. So I could travel more if it was like this. I could see it, All right. Well, I think that summarizes the weekend. I've got 9 minutes until I have to leave to go to MI40 anyway. So Jazz Hand Steve says
overall,
goodbye.
Everybody, I think it brought everybody closer together. I saw so many like new friendships develop.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And I think when you're separated from people, you make assumptions, and I think a lot of people were like, oh, this person's cool, this person's good. And like, it just gave everybody an opportunity to get to know each other. And I think that's the one thing I like about our company is that we have such a cool group of people that if there's an element in our company or in our midst that doesn't fit, you kind of figure it out, right? Because
it's easy to spot for sure. In our everybody gets along so well and just vibes and it's so funny. I feel like everybody there's so many different. The age range is so wide, but like nobody even thinks about it or cares.
You're saying I'm old. You're saying I'm old.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, I gotta go.
All right, and that's a wrap, y'all.
Hey, and your birthday's coming up.
5 days. 5 days.
Yeah. What is it?
I'm gonna go see The Rock. We're gonna go see the Black Adam movie.
Do you know what I got you? Disappointment.
Warm nuts.
Disappointment.